Names like Peaches, Tower Records, and Musicland were all well known in the mix of American music retailers. Based in Oklahoma was another prolific music store, Sound Warehouse. Founded in 1972, they did business in several states until the early 90s. Despite being a notable brand, they have a poorly documented history. For me, this makes it a brand worth exploring and preserving. So let's get into it. Dan Moran and his wife Kay started a small record store under Bromo Distributors, with a single unit at Northwest 23rd and Walker Streets in Oklahoma City. Neither had experience in the record business, but Dan had a retail background and Kay had a master's in business. They would incorporate the store in 1974 under the Sound Warehouse name. They focused on a core business of selling LPs, 8-track, and cassettes. They had customers of all ages and strived to offer something for everyone. They sponsored many local events, conveniently allowing concert goers to buy tickets at all their stores. Convenience would turn out to be one of their biggest draws. As a freestanding outlet, Sound Warehouse offered more access than its mall-based competitors, often found in strip centers. Another big pull was their revolving guests. The Morans worked very closely with record labels, which allowed big-name appearances. Van Halen appeared on their first world tour in 1978. Others included AC/DC, Foreigner, Journey, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, Quarterflash, Thompson Twins, Bon Jovi, and even Tim Curry. Their employees were the real stars, expected to have music knowledge. Stores often had a specific person for each individual genre. Many of their customers wanted to buy a song they heard on the radio and asked for the name. They were allowed to be unique and had to be personable. After all, they were selling music, something very intimate. A wide product range was also ideal, and the stores carried home video products, putting them in an emerging market. Bromo opened Buttons in June 1982, boasted as the single largest home video and electronics store in America. Its grand opening prompted the Oklahoma governor to declare June 17th as Buttons Day. The Morans worked hard to make brands that were household names in their home entertainment industry. In the late hours of Friday, October 21st, 1983, Dan Moran was driving northbound on Meridian Avenue in southwest OKC when another vehicle collided with his, wrecking both. Those in the other car survived the accident. Moran was pronounced dead at the scene. He was 39 years old. A great career was cut short. But thanks to Kay, their company lived on. By the late 80s, Sound Warehouse was one of the nation's leading retailers of home entertainment software, with 121 stores in 13 states. Their outlets were more like audio-video supermarkets, with stereos, TVs, and even a small selection of telephones. As vinyl began to disappear, cassettes accounted for about 51% of their sales. Their branches were among the first to invest big in CDs, buying all they could. A genius move. In 1989, Shamrock Holdings announced they would buy them out. Owned by the Roy E. Disney family, Shamrock is a Los Angeles firm with stakes in broadcasting and real estate. At that time, they operated another music store called Music Plus. The Disney name came with some unpopular provisions that muddied much of the personality that made Sound Warehouse special. As a former employee said, Disney was the beginning of their end. They added strict rules about everything from clothing to how long hair could be, and a lot of their well-rounded staff left because they were embarrassed coming to work. After Bromo, things would never be as good. The corporate conversion of Sound Warehouse was fully realized in 1992, when Blockbuster bought them and Music Plus for $185 million. They were rapidly expanding and wanted a foothold in recorded music. At the time, they were the biggest video retailer in the nation, with over 2,900 stores. Chairman Wayne Huizenga saw the Shamrock chains as a must-have for their new music division. They announced in December that Sound Warehouse would be combined with a crew of other music stores and rebranded under a new nameplate called Blockbuster Music. The loss of Sound Warehouse was also a loss of the uniqueness they brought to music retailing. Perhaps the biggest pluses were their employees and dedication to near-perfect customer satisfaction. Blockbuster did all but completely trash a good formula, which was not out of character. Local demographics were also the key to their success, but it became more about the product than the people. They applied that mentality to music too, which was one of the reasons why they failed. What happened to Sound Warehouse was inevitable after 3 years under 2 different boffo entertainment conglomerates. Even Disney tried to turn them into an early Blockbuster Music, the first warning of things to come. Under the Morans, Sound Warehouse fulfilled nearly 100% of all customer special orders, even if it came at a loss to the company. Every transaction was special, but that took a back seat to the almighty dollar. The question is, can a store like theirs continue to garner meaningful local roots while having practical growth potential? Well, I believe the Morans and Sound Warehouse gave that question a resounding yes.